Приветствую всех, уважаемые дамы и господа. С вами снова дедушка Владимир. Ну что ж, продолжаем проходить DLC. И мы сейчас отправляемся на Византий. Так, я все-таки до сих пор не решил, что мне делать, как быть. Потому что все вот это... Давайте мы так и пойдем. Посмотрим, во-первых, по карте, где это там все находится. А там будет видно.
Captain, transmission request from Ambrose Manor.
Captain! Imagine my surprise when I saw the Unreliable leaving Gorgon with so much urgency and purpose. Tell me you found Mother's journal. I'm positively dying for good news. Well, isn't that exciting? A lonely asteroid, an old research facility, and now shady corporate intrigue. And here I've just been doing the crossword. Any promising leads on Mother's journal? I've watched enough detective serials to know that a promising lead can get you anywhere. I seem to recall that Mother worked closely with Gorgon's R&D personnel, but not close enough to invite them over for dinner and cocktails, if you get my meaning. By now, they'll have moved on with their lives. If only I could do the same. I knew Mother was involved with some important chemical trials, but I had no idea her pet project was Adraenotime. Adraenotime is a working man's stimulant, like a caffeinoid. Very popular at launch, though the marketing quieted down over time. What? No. I mean, there's some very morbid wording in the fine print, but I had no idea Adraenotime could make marauders out of people. That's it. That must be it. Spacer's Choice is keeping their dirty little secret about Adraenotime off the record. We have to find Mother's journal. If we don't, then Spacer's Choice gets away with murder. I only hope we aren't too late. Adraenotime was touted as the working man's best friend, a drug that boosted productivity with no adverse effects. The promise of Adraenotime cannot be overstated. Exhaustion and fatigue were supposed to be obsolete. Workplace accidents would be things of the past. For whatever reason, the drug never lived up to that promise. I don't know. And thanks to Spacer's Choice, we may never find out. I know that I'd like to see a colony where the promise of Adraenotime was fulfilled. And I doubt I'm the only one. Thank you. I certainly ought to know what I'm doing. I spent years trying to break into pharmaceuticals, professionally speaking. Mother wouldn't hear of it. She didn't think I had the wit to succeed in her line of work. Safe travels. If your leads give you any trouble, be sure and give them some trouble back, yes? Ta!
Ну ладно, поговорили с Мини. Которая еще штучка там. Ну ладно. Сейчас вопрос, кого с собой взять. Давайте посмотрим. Так, Уэлли, ложь, медицина, инженерия. Ложь, Феликса, убеждение. Так, у Неоки, ложь, медицина. Парвати. Макс. Так, еще раз Феликс. Мердение 93. Ну что ж, наверное, придется остаться в старом составе. Остаемся прежним составом. А у него посмотреть. У этих-то вроде все в порядке. Так, давайте откроем карту сразу. Где он? О, мама мия. Надо через весь город пройти. Сюда, сюда, сюда. Это площадь. Это какая-то река, канал какой-то. Так. А где находится у нас этот? Ну, практически рядом. Тогда мы эти два сделаем и смоемся. Ну, чё опять? А эта подруга здесь ли? А вон стоит, да. Ну и хрен с ним, стоят. Не буду я ничего пока тут трогать. А, где туда пошли? Лифта здесь. Что-то уже забывать стал. В этом Византии уж больно много всего. А потом метаться там по всей этой солнечной системе. Хочется. Так.
Why can't something exciting happen around here for once?
Нам туда.
Nothing wrong.
Hey, you. Yeah, you. Want to be famous?
Да не хочу я пока связаться с тобой.
Prosperity Plaza. More like Consumption Junction. Get it?
Так, этот как был закрытый, так и остался. Ладно, идемте дальше. Ну уж по пути попалась, так возьмем. О, какая маленькая псидка ходит.
Your best find this week. Go. Arrow someone up.
Потом мы будем разбираться с этими всеми.
Today marks a monumentous occasion in the course of Halcyon history. After a deep and thorough examination of our budgets, revenue streams, and predictive models, we are
Так и навевает воспоминания. Так. Так, давайте мы сперва задание Франции сделаем.
This is where those who fancy themselves the best and brightest of our society live. Trespassing here is a true honor.
Byzantium will be sure to see the many rewards reaped from your diligent labor.
Задание-то небольшое, так что сделаем.
No magazines, no posters, not a Rizzo's in sight. What a pile.
Феликс правильно подметил Нойдера. И самое что интересно, все дома Византии богатеньких выглядят именно так. Каскадия в опасности. Ну что ж, готовимся к бою. Ну что ж, надо кончать с этими всеми, которые, эксплуатируют инопланетную фауну, хотят кого-то изменить. Вон сколько уже всего. Уже изменяли первобытных, псид, людей.
This must be the med base.
That's far enough. What are you doing here? How did you even get inside?
Looks
Looks like we're doing this. Got it.
Ну и все. Ты чё такая нищета, а? 3 всего бакса у тебя. Ну что ж, опять кто-то у них здесь плавает. Ой. Даже читать не хочется. Ну я говорю, тут 2-0. Вот понимаете, вот у меня такое складывается впечатление, что вообще этими DLC надо было заниматься именно после прохождения этого Византия. Не буду я...
Chartrand was trying to change people. I knew they were up to some freakish experiments.
Ну понятно, здесь почти что все одно и то же повторяется. Ну вот смотрите, какая ситуация. Так как колония погибает вообще-то от голода, это понятно уже давно нам. Но чтобы изменять людей, чтобы могли усваивать пищу, и тому прочее, на что только корпорации не шли. Один, значит, заражает людей личинками. Вторая с помощью этого наркотика пытается превратить людей в это самое. Не пытается. Хочет сделать их более работоспособными, чтобы больше выжимать прибыли для корпораций. Третья пошла дальше всех. Она решила полностью изменить метаболизм, как говорится, человека, полностью изменить его генную структуру. Ох, охошеньки. Так, давайте. Где это у нас? Где-то там дальше.
You must be joking. Oh, there. That's one right there. Can't you just see the stench
Вот,
of impropriety?
понимаете, вот приходится идти мимо заданий, которые все время нам навязывают, а потом мы, не знаю, активируются они, не активируются, хрен его знает. Нина Прескотт.
Welcome to the Musgrave family collection. Still a work in progress. I'll tell you what I've told all the other guards. Mind your boots. Our floors are not made for armor. If you're here for the annual Canid review, I'm afraid it's already over. Only thing going on behind those doors is good, old-fashioned lawful behavior. This greeting constitutes your confidentiality agreement. You hereby agree not to disclose the location or existence of these events. Thank you for cooperating. Oh, that's just so encouraging to hear. I'll just go ahead and add your comment to my permanent record. Now then, how can I help you? We find that our clients enjoy the appearance of participating in illegal activities. Secrecy contributes to a feeling of indecency. The Musgrave family collection was intended to be a gallery of fine art. And here we are, using this place to practice semi-legal canid shows. Scandalous, isn't it? That's privileged information. I really shouldn't tell you. That's a fair point. All right, I'll tell you. But just keep this between us. The Musgraves own one of Earth's largest private collections of art and literature. They were going to have the entire collection shipped all the way to Halcyon. Unfortunately, that collection never arrived. We haven't heard anything from the delivery convoy, and there's some purely hypothetical concern that the collection might be, well, I was going to say indefinitely delayed by unforeseen and unknowable circumstances, but yes, let's go with that. Anyway, that's as much as I can tell you. Will there be anything else? Mr. Mostly is indeed attending our event, although I am disappointed to discover he did not officially enter his canid Laplace into our competition. You should find Mr. Mostly just inside the prep room. Head inside and take the door to your left.
Ну что ж, пройти. Странно, подозрительно дают.
You'll have to show me how to do that.
Ну, дают, так возьмем. Опа-на. Опа-на. Зритель шоу, зритель шоу.
Just between the two of us, I hope this doesn't become a tradition.
И чё, можно все собрать? Ладно. Нахрен это все видно нужно. И чё, здесь сражаются карликовые псиды? Малыш Вало. Градитель птиц. Ну давайте.
Do you know the interesting thing about canid shows? Good instincts. Mathematically speaking, the interesting thing about canid shows is this. They're an exercise in futility. Winning is predetermined. Over time, the inevitable trend is that the race goes to the swift. Time and chance are just statistical outliers. In other words, if you put enough canids through enough trials, the one with the most optimal attributes generally wins. Exercise in futility. Oh, goodness, no. Not at all. I'm an actuary, you see. Well, not entirely. The actuarial sciences are more of a passion than a profession. So I suppose that makes me mostly an actuary. That's a bit of a family joke. I'm Clarence Mostly. Yes, that's us. Mostly oak trees, too. My grandfather invented them, you know. Well, no, he didn't invent mostly oaks, but he did purchase the naming rights back during the terraforming days. It's essentially the same thing.
Давайте
Oh. Then you're not here about my monograph. It's true, I was involved with Project Gorgon, but that chapter of my life is long since closed. Listen, I don't know what you want with Gorgon or with me, but let me give you some free advice. Let the past go. Live in the moment.
Ох, какой
Enjoy
ушлый
the party.
мужик, а? Ну, эти ушлы вот виляет, сразу видно, что по глазу видно, что ты парень, блин.
I was wondering if you were the sort of person to accept sensible advice or respond with threats of violence. Thank you for resolving that ambiguity for me. Lifting the lockdown won't be easy. You'll need to send overrides from the chem lab and human inquiry. I don't have that level of clearance, but I know two people who do. The trouble is, I don't know you. I don't trust you. I washed my hands of Gorgon, and you're asking me to dirty them all over again. I'm going to need a good reason. Yes, the birthplace of the marauders. And a graveyard for all our mistakes. Starting Project Gorgon was our first mistake. Trying to bury Project Gorgon while it's still very much alive and clawing its way back to the surface, that may be our last mistake. I want a favor from you. Do something for me, and I'll do something for you. That way we don't have to rely on
Ах ты
mutual
скризняк,
trust.
а,
A grand
скризки.
prize trophy to the Canid Review. I want it in my hands. Get me that trophy, and I'll give you the remaining researchers. Names, locations, as much information as I have. My canid, Laplace, is statistically superior to every other canid in this review. Better average sprinting time, superior gait coefficient, optimal anatomical symmetry. I didn't bother entering little Laplace in this pointless contest. He's already won on paper, you see. That trophy rightfully belongs to him. Oh, you're much too kind. Does this mean you'll do it?
Ну вот смотрите, участвовать не хочет, а трофей хочет. И не хочет свою псиду подставлять, хотя говорит, что она лучшая, хотя сомневаюсь в этом.
Head into the main hall and take the elevator down into the maintenance tunnels. You'll find a service passage that leads up into the trophy room. The maintenance tunnel is the only way up into the trophy room. Some technician barred the door shut on our end. Ask Tilda Coatsworth about it, over by the podium. What's on your mind? At the moment, nothing. I have a one-track mind. I can't stop thinking about that trophy. Why isn't it in my hands? When is it going to be in my hands? And so on and so forth. You get me that Best in Show trophy, and it'll clear my mind right up.
Ах ты мелкий засранец, а!
My eye! I was wondering where I'd misplaced that old thing. It's perfectly preserved, you know. Every eye possesses unique dimensions, not unlike a fingerprint. The circumference, the shape, the color of the iris. An eye makes excellent proof of identification, assuming you don't mind removing one. I'd rather not get into the details. If Spacer's Choice ever asks you to test out their new model of monocle, just say no. What's on your mind? Well, that's rather responsible of you. I'll put a good word in your permanent record.
Вот паршивец, а? Не просто паршивец, а? Скользкий червяк такой, а? Вот выворачивается во все, а? О, ему дом нужен. Ладно, пограбим. Так. Ну, пойдемте искать этот долбанный трофей. А, вон он стоит.
Oh, perfect. Another company buffoon stomping about in a full suit of armor. All over my finest marble. Shouldn't you be on guard duty? I don't recall putting in a request for a personal honor guard. I imagine Musgrave put you up to this as a way of showing deference to me. Whatever happened to that fellow? In any case, I can't hire you. I have a moral and ethical objection to charity. Unfortunately, you're too late. The review ended a few days ago. We've submitted our results to the Judiciary Committee and await arbitration. In 8 to 10 short weeks, we'll have the name of a winner. Probably. That gives us 8 to 10 weeks to file a maintenance request. Our technician barred the vault door and then disappeared without a trace. Can you believe that? The Musgrave Vault contracted a security consultant from UDL. They sent a technician to install a few security upgrades, anti-dissident automechanicals and the like. That technician barred the vault, but neglected to leave us with a way in from here. He wasn't seen leaving the security room, so I can't imagine where he's gone off to. UDL personnel are so irresponsible. No offense.
А вот я вот с этим не соглашусь. Вок ничего не делает просто так.
The tunnels are guarded by automechanical security. I don't look nearly boorish enough to resemble a UDL guard, so they'd probably shoot me on sight. Again, no offense. In any case, I'd rather not step foot in the tunnels. The tunnels are for disposing of unwanted refuse, and no place for a respectable Byzantine. Your eagerness to serve your betters is commendable. Here's a key card. It should help you get around inside the tunnels. Now, was there anything else? I'd like to get back to mastering over the ceremonies, or people might question why I have this role at all.
Ох, высокомерные все, а? Высокомерные ублюдки. Да чтоб вас.
We've been over this before. It's a terrible idea.
Ладно. Идем. Ну, что-то уже типичное мы такое видели.
Done and done.
Уж не тот ли этот туннель, который идет под всем городом? Что-то уже очень напоминает. Что здесь? Ну точно.
Here we go. Dead.
По уборке мусора, ремонту хранилища Мозгреев наполнен был запахом хвои. Оценка стандарта меры сделал перемещаем установом противосидия автоматон, перемещение портения исключения. Так. Если мне не изменяет память, здесь должен быть. Должен быть где-то быть этот самый. Терминал. А вот только где он, я не помню. Так, сколько вес? Нормально вес. Так, что-то мы вломились, а задание опять, наверное. Золотая псида. Значит, за стеной. Ну ладно, обойдем, там видно будет. Так.
Nicely done.
Poor Cadence. What kind of monster does something like this?
Так. Где этот друг-то, который? Улучшенный набор техника.
Impressive, as always.
Вот гаденыш какой все-таки этот. Взял, втянул меня.
If there's one thing I've learned traveling with you, it's that theft is but a state of mind.
Так, это значит зал. Они даже выходить не стали, а? Ладно. Да уж. Чего воровать-то мы научились. Это не всегда получалось, но...
Come now, Anubis, you must perk up.
It seems people who've never known a struggle will use any means necessary to evoke the thrill of uncertainty, no matter how banal.
Да они просто изнывают, Макс, от скуки, от безделья. А то, что у них там карманы ломятся всяким дерьмом. Ну, заходите давайте.
I'm going.
Never cared much for hors d'oeuvres. The word is just grotesque. All those superfluous letters ruin my appetite. Dead canids in the service tunnels. Domesticated canids? Why, that's utterly revolting. My dear friend, I would not dream of hurting a canid. Every canid, regardless of their physical attributes, is a companion to their master. To kill a companion is a profound and unforgivable breach of trust. I'm glad I chose not to participate in this loathsome canid review. I will, however, take their trophy.
Вот, скорее всего, взял, поубивал тех псид, заменил на других и выпустил на поле, а сам теперь умывает руки. А золотой псиду хочет себе.
My trophy! Look at this thing! Have you ever seen a more garish monument to the boredom of the elite? If only Grandfather Mostly were alive today, I would have loved to wave this trophy right in front of his cataracts. I hope you won't take it personally when I say I had my doubts about you. Nothing ever gets done in Byzantium, you see. Competent work is, well, a statistical anomaly.
Но то, что в Византии никто не умеет работать, более-менее, да и, пожалуй, во всем Алкионе единицы найдутся.
Lifting the emergency lockdown requires overrides from the Chem Lab and Human Inquiry. Access to those facilities requires authorizations from 2 senior-level researchers, Marion Blakesley, Jasper Lowe. They went into hiding after the project collapsed, but I've managed to calculate their last known whereabouts within a reasonable margin of error. I see you're familiar with my technique. I'd love to show you my numbers, but there aren't nearly enough napkins in this room. After the project shut down, I had to keep my mind occupied. I worked on my actuarial tables, calculated the average lifespan of a Spacer's Choice worker, that sort of thing. I realized some of the researchers had to be alive. I ran some numbers, did a little research, and concluded that the 2 most likely survivors are Marion Blakesley and Jasper Lowe. I'll tell you what I can. Dr. Marion Blakesley supervised the Human Inquiry and Auditing Facility. Live subjects, measuring tape and syringes, that sort of thing. Someone sabotaged the facility. Blakesley tendered her resignation and vanished. I'm reasonably certain she's hiding in a maintenance bay on Groundbreaker. Well, with Spacer's Choice equipment, who even knows? Dr. Blakesley tendered her resignation lawfully, but under suspicious circumstances. If you want to know more, you'd best ask her yourself. Dr. Lowe described himself as a dazzling genius in his review. I disagreed. Of the 19 criteria that constitute the rubric of genius, Dr. Lowe only met 15. After the project shut down, corporate traded him off to Auntie Cleo in exchange for 5 lab coats. He's been transferred to an orbital lab around Olympus.
Так, орбитальная лаборатория тети Клео.
Oh dear. How do I explain this without using too many syllables? Lab coats means scientists. It's a colloquial... It's slang. Let's get back on topic. You'll find Dr. Lowe in an orbital lab around Olympus. Certainly. What's on your mind? Let's try to keep it down, shall we? At least pretend we're being discreet. There's not a lot about Project Gorgon I can tell you. I know that's not what you wanted to hear, but I closed that chapter in my life. I've moved on. Look, don't tell anyone I said this. But if there's anything I've learned by living in Byzantium, it's this. If you go looking for the truth, you are looking for trouble. All right. Ask your questions. And then if you don't mind, don't mention Project Gorgon anywhere near me again. It's complicated. I'll be honest, I didn't join Project Gorgon because I wanted to satisfy my intellectual curiosity. I was courting the daughter of a Spacer's Choice family. We were a mathematically congruent match, you see. I had the proofs all written out and everything.
Не, ну молодец такими терминами. А вот, блин, уверен на 100%, сам ни хрена в этом не понимает.
Minnie Ambrose. Oh, Olivia's brat. Ambitious, but like the rest of her family, irrelevant. She tried following her mother's example, failed, and if she ever tried again, I couldn't tell you. The name Ambrose doesn't mean anything to me anymore, or to anyone halfway respectable. The Ambroses are, how do I put this politely, obsolete. A family's name is only as strong as its enterprise. The Musgraves have Rizzos and the Schuyler's have Auntie Cleo, and so we show those names the respect they deserve. The Ambrose name was associated with Project Gorgon. The project died, and so the Ambrose name died with it. That's just the way the game is played. Project Gorgon was designed to change the life of every worker on Halcyon. We weren't just building a product, we were trying to build a society. How many workers call Halcyon their home? What do they eat and when? How long do they sleep? How hard do they work? What are their most productive years? When do their organs begin to fail? That's the nature of my work. I study human life in order to determine its value. Jewelers appraise diamonds, and I appraise people. Everything. Every project has a margin of failure. We expect setbacks, complications, delays. Project Gorgon experienced a cascade failure. One mistake precipitated another, and another, and another. The labs failed to develop a safe drug. Human Inquiry failed to perform their tests responsibly. An unsafe drug tested on unhealthy subjects by irresponsible supervisors. That's Project Gorgon. No one appreciates the value of good data. The holistic surveillance device I wear is an invaluable tool, gathering data on all my day-to-day activities. My former colleagues can go into hiding and live in ignorance for all I care. I prefer the self-examined life. Anarchy is not a crime. It is a symptom. The undisciplined workplace secretes anarchy the way our glands secrete enzymes. It's a principle of science. Sabotage came first. The chem lab, Human Inquiry, even my own office. Sabotage broke the discipline of our workplace, leading to confusion, leading to escaped subjects, leading to anarchy. I know. Project Gorgon was a failure of leadership. Leadership to which I belonged. I should have pushed for stricter supervision. We gave the other departments too much freedom and not enough oversight. Spare the rod, spoil the servant.
Ладно, понятно все с тобой. Мелкий заносчивый засранец. С претензией на величие. Так, ну и что у нас дальше? Ну уж если нам лететь на первопроходец, ну ладно, ну надо как-то еще и спорвать и решить. Вот это ее задание. А Селеста пошлет нас добывать материалы, блин, по всей этой. Зараза, по всей системе. Вот я помню, хоть и играл 2 года назад в эту игру, но все равно помню. И что делать? Так, так. Заводское псевдояблоко. А это чё? Ага, лип. Ладно, давайте мы тогда зададим это задание и за ним найдем эту подругу. Задания напарника могут подождать. Ладно, выходим из этого. Вот. Ладно, перемещаемся на безнадежный. Ну вот понимаете, в этом DLC приходится как-то выкручиваться все время, чтобы, не дай бог, основные задания не встряли. Так, ладно, давайте.
Nice work dispatching Chartrand, Captain. Sublight will be pleased.
Спасибо. Первопроходец Олимп. И как мы туда попадем? Понимаете, стыковочный и дополнительные служебные. Давайте дополнительные.
The groundbreaker auxiliary base. Someone has left a threatening message on your terminal, Captain. I was unable to trace its origin. Please make a note of it. Welcome back, Captain. How can I be of assistance? I request you do not wake me if I am sleeping upon your return.
Так, кто-то оставил угроз. Что-то с угрозой. Ну что ж, давайте на этом месте я закончу эту серию. С вами был дедушка Владимир. Всем приятного просмотра дальнейшего. Что-то интрига-то все больше и больше как-то раскручивается. И это даже очень нравится. Ну что ж, до скорых встреч.